why is everybody so sensitive about everything nowadays? You know what I mean? Like, the only person that you can talk about negatively is a white guy, and nobody cares.
Yeah.
Everybody else is off limits.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I can't say you're an Hispanic girl. You know what I mean? I can't say, like, you're a girl. I can't even say you're a girl anymore. Like, how ridiculous are we getting?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, no manches. That's what I want to say. Like, that's what this episode should be called. It's no manches. But I don't know. I think the problem with America is that we're too spoiled and cushy and whiny, and because I think there's a saying that says strong men create weak men create strong men.
I've heard it said, hard times make hard men, and soft times make soft men. And I completely agree with that. And it's interesting too. I do a book club with some other moms on the West Side, and one of the ladies, she's an Indian woman. She grew up in India in extreme poverty.
Yeah.
She grew up in the jungle, like had to walk miles to get water. Yeah. So, and now she's here, like they're very wealthy, both drive Teslas, and her take on everything, they're like, we'll be in Zumba, she's Zumbas, and it's hot, right? And people are like, oh, it's hot, and she's like, this is not hot.
Girl.
It's like 72 degrees, there's a fan right there, you're fine. And I love her take on things.
Yes.
She grew up in actual hardship.
Tiene huevos.
Yes.
Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, they have balls. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the only people that should be able to talk trash, like, are people that have gone through struggles. Like, the people that should be whining. Like, let me tell you this, ladies. We'll go into...
Uh-oh.
is that the most unattractive thing a man can do is be whiny. Am I right?
I'm in agreement.
It's like a total whiny guy is like the most unattractive thing. And it's just, that's everybody in America right now. Everybody's just, how much more of a victim, like they'll tell you a story about how they were a victim, and it's like, oh, but let me tell you my story. Like,
I'm more of a victim.
My daddy never gave me a pat on the head and told me I was the best kid in El Paso. And you're like, dude, like, do you know people don't eat?
Yeah.
Do you know that, like, there's people rummaging? I'll give you another story. And I think maybe this is why I'm a little different. My dad used to do missionary work. And one time I was in Juarez in a mission, in a church, and there was people coming to this church through, like, I don't know if you've ever been in Juarez when it rains, but there's, like, no way of the water to go away. It just fills the streets, right? And there was ladies going to church, pulling their dress above their head, and walking in the street with all the water, And I was like, these people are crazy. Like, Americans would never even go to church. Like, the streets were flooded. They were, like, in their house, like,
it rains a little
calling
bit.
FEMA.
And
you know what I mean?
Staying home.
And so after that, we were, like, me and a couple of the kids, I was like 8. We're in the back playing soccer in the back, right? And there was this little boy, and I noticed that he had one shoe on, right? He had one shoe on. And I went over, I was like, dude, you lost your shoe. Like, what the heck, And then the boy goes to the corner, and he starts crying. And I was like, and I'm 8, you know what I mean? I don't know what the hell's going on. So I go over to him, and I was like, what's wrong? And he's like, and then the other kid tells me, it's because he only has one shoe. I was like, what do you mean you only have shoes? How do you buy one shoe? Did you steal it? Like, that's the first thing I thought, They only have, like, the one shoe at the store for, like, the display, so you can't steal the shoe.
Yeah.
And remember, like, forgive me, because I'm 8 years old. And then the kid goes, he's like, no, I found it in the trash. And I put the shoe on, right?
Yeah.
And as a little kid, my heart broke. Because little kids are sensitive, Like, you used to, like, little Addie, like our little Addies, they would be in tears.
They would, yes.
But my reaction was, take off my shoes and give them to the kid. And my dad had just bought me new shoes, new Nikes. And then I took off my jacket and I gave it to the kid. And I remember getting in the car and my dad's like, "Where's your shoes?" And "Where's your jacket? Go get your shoes and your jacket." And I was like, "No, I gave them to the boy." "What do you mean you gave them to the boy?" He's like, "I just bought you these shoes."
Yeah.
And I was like, "I have my old ones at the house, right?" And I didn't live with my dad, so it was like, to his defense, you know, he would buy me shoes because my mom would give him a hard time. So, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's like kind of like there's more to that.
Yeah. That
anger.
dynamic. Yeah.
But yeah, like there's people that rummage through trash for shoes.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like you Americans whining about your latte is too hot. Like you should be thrown in the river. Like
Yeah.
you know, they don't know what it's really like to struggle.
Yes. Yeah. 1,000,000%.
So I don't know. I think that's what. This has nothing to do with what we're talking about today.
But it's important to talk about.
But squirrel. Squirrels are fun. You know, but that in a sense tells me like, you know what, like people need to toughen up. Like,
Yeah.
and that's why people that come from immigrant countries, like they appreciate America more. They're more successful in America because they don't have this huge chip on their shoulder. They're more prone to have more kids. You know what I mean? You know, all those kinds of things. So I don't know. I just think that there should be a lot more appreciation, gratitude for what America offers people. Like the poorest guy in the street with a sign has more access to clean water than like the average person in the Philippines.
Yeah.
You know?
The average person in the world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like we poop in clean water. Like people don't even understand that. You know what I mean? Like we poop in clean water.
Yeah.
Like that's so crazy to the rest of the world. Like technically you could take a cup and put it in the toilet and drink that water.
Yeah.
Because it's the same water that we get out of the tap.
Yeah.
You know, and now we're all bougie. We don't even drink out of the tap, right? We're like, oh no.
It's got to be bottled for me.
Fiji only. I don't drink Fiji water. You know, like we import water from Fiji.
Yeah.
In a plastic cup to drink it. Like that's crazy.
Yeah.